Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh boy, do I have a story for you guys today, and a story that I'd say, or I'd describe as peak Donald Trump. It's just so lovely to have reclaimed what we've lost. Finally, Trump's back in charge, and of course what that means is the Trump approach is back in full force, and I'd say there's heightened demand for that these days. You know, I think in hindsight, going into the last election, a lot of people were reminiscing, looking back to the 2017 and onward era, remembering all the badass things that Donald Trump was doing, and probably thinking to themselves, you know, we could use a little bit of that again. You know, maybe it wasn't that bad. Well, ask and you shall receive. That's exactly what happened here. People voted for the American Bulldog to be back in office, and that's exactly what they've got. Peak Donald Trump. The guy just walked into the World Economic Forum, right into their little globalist headquarters at Davos. Well, I say he walked in there. He was there virtually on the massive screen. But nonetheless, he showed up and just absolutely dominated the room. The World Economic Forum. These are the same people preaching about their eat the bug nonsense and pushing the whole you'll own nothing and be happy garbage. Well, now they're just sitting there nodding along like a bunch of dorks getting completely obliterated as Donald Trump, the Trumpinator, calls them out to their faces. You love to see it. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, take a look at this.
You've done a fantastic job, but I hope you start opening your bank to conservatives, because many conservatives complain that the banks are not allowing them to do business within the bank, and that included a place called Bank of America. They don't take conservative business, and I don't know if the regulators mandated that because of Biden or what, but you and Jamie and everybody, I hope you're going to open your banks to conservatives, because what you're doing is wrong. I have promised to eliminate 10 old regulations for every new regulation, which will soon put many thousands of dollars back in the pockets of American families. And we're working with the Democrats on getting an extension of the original Trump tax cuts, as you probably know, by just reading any paper. My message to every business in the world is very simple. Come make your product in America, and we will give you among the lowest taxes of any nation on earth. But if you don't make your product in America, which is your prerogative, then very simply you will have to pay a tariff, differing amounts, but a tariff which will direct hundreds of billions of dollars and even trillions of dollars into our treasury. Under the Trump administration, there will be no better place on earth to create jobs, build factories, or grow a company than right here in the good old USA. On day one, I signed an executive order to stop all government censorship. No longer will our government label the speech of our own citizens as misinformation or disinformation, which are the favorite words of censors and those who wish to stop the free exchange of ideas and, frankly, progress. We have saved free speech in America, and we've saved it strongly.
Donald Trump comes out swinging and once again making it crystal clear that the American people are done with the nonsense. You know, basically building on the exact same thing that he did during his inauguration speech, as he stood in front of all those tech CEOs and the deep state Democrats, telling them very clearly and unapologetically that their reign is over. And you know, it's really got me thinking of that infamous meme. I'm sure you guys have seen it a million times before, and Donald Trump has actually referenced it many times during interviews and speeches. This notion that they're not going after Donald Trump, they're coming after us. He's just standing in their way.
They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving.
That's exactly what it's got me thinking of. I mean, quite literally. You know, this is the globalist entity that seeks to strip your rights away, make you eat bugs and live in a box and be happy. Well, just listening to the topics that Donald Trump was hitting on, it's clear that that's actually the case. And that was especially clear when he went after them on the issue of the war on free speech, highlighting their favorite tactic of labeling anything they don't like as dangerous misinformation that should be removed and regulated off social media. He says enough is enough. Enough with these political leaders coming to this Davos clown show to kiss the ring, to kiss your feet, denying the rights of their own citizens to do your bidding. Enough of that. We're going back to actual free speech. Once again, he proves that he's got your back. He's got the people's back. He's willing to take on these corrupt globalist entities on your behalf, and even willing to go as far as naming names. And that was especially clear when he put the Bank of America on blast, citing their discrimination against conservatives. And just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory there, the Bank of America has been accused of debanking individuals and conservative groups based purely on political alignments. There's also reports that the Bank of America also allegedly worked with government agencies during the January 6th investigations, where they supposedly handed over financial records without proper subpoenas or notifying their customers. We're talking about institutional bias and discrimination. And of course, we're talking about a big bank here. Most politicians wouldn't even dare stick their neck out to defend American citizens like this, to take on big banks, but Donald Trump doesn't care. And he says it all to their face. And the best part is he says it will not happen anymore. It will no longer be allowed to continue. And you could practically feel the panic in the room. You know, these WEF types thrive on controlling the narrative. And basically, Donald Trump crashed their party and promised to rip that control right out of their hands. You know, it's the classic Trump move. It's a classic Trump moment. And I think it's exactly what so many people were dying to see again, for this exact attitude to come raging back. You know, this wasn't just a speech, it was a rebuke of everything the WEF stands for. Trump is saying very clearly that no more will government play God. No more will unelected bureaucrats engineer outcomes to fulfill their woke DEI fantasies. He told them loud and clear, we're done being the world's ATM. Your elitist interests and demands of control will not win over the rights and priorities of the American people. He told them very clearly that essentially their quest for world domination ends today. And funnily enough, it seems almost as if they agree.
Trump has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician, has risen. Somebody who, if we were 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, dead politically, known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
We need to also factor in not only who's won, which is Trump, but who's lost, which is to say us. And I guess I would throw into that the epitome of the us who is losing here is Europe. That the European Union and by and large its member states have misread the direction where events were going. The causes that it is interested in, climate, human rights, some others, as well as the methods of diplomacy that it prefers, are simply being gradually kind of marginalized as something new, not necessarily something better, but something new moves into the center.
They're basically openly admitting defeat, and that right there already is very quickly climbing up and becoming one of Donald Trump's greatest presidential achievements. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.